Hey, how are you? It's Dawn Luckowitz here again, and I wanted to pose the question and then kind of give an answer to it at the same time. What does expectancy have to do with motivation and ultimately success? And of course, I'm following this theme along with the book, The Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard, and it fits so nicely into starting 2018, starting a new month, a new year with goals. And a lot of us have some goals going into this year. A lot of us have goals when it comes to our fitness and nutrition. A lot of us have goals when it comes to our relationships, our spirituality. A lot of us have goals when it comes to our finances. We have these goals. But I want to talk about some of the ways that we're going to get there and be more successful. And that's where this idea of expectancy comes in and how it ties with motivation. So I've got some notes here, which I don't usually have too many notes, but I want to make sure that I hit some key points for you this afternoon. We'll agree, most people want something better out of life, right? Most people want something more for themselves. They want a better job. They want a better body. They want more. They want better. Most people do. But what stops most people from, when they have that want, that desire, that's a little spark, right? But what helps that spark from fanning into something bigger, fanning into real motivation that's going to be more sustainable? And we'll talk about motivation and sustainability another day. But we have that spark. A lot of you had that feeling as the new year was about to turn and you started to talk about some of these things that you wanted better for yourself. But there becomes this disconnection when there's that little bit of motivation and then turning it into something that you actually follow through on, that you actually take action on. And a huge disconnect there is that expectancy. A lot of times, and I'm going to use fitness and nutrition primarily for this example, but use whatever the goal and motivating factor was for you as the year turned. But a lot of people, it's going to be fitness and nutrition. They want to get in better shape. They need to get in better shape, but they don't go and do it. They know they want to. They know they need to. And a big part of the problem is the expectancy. For me, I watched that P90X infomercial probably over 100 times from start to finish. Like, I'm a self-proclaimed infomercial junkie. I watched it easily over 100 times, easily over the course of 2 years. But the problem was I didn't believe in the product itself, and I didn't believe enough in me to think that it would work. It had to be a scam, right? I didn't have belief. I didn't expect anything of it. I didn't expect anything of me, so I didn't buy it. Fortunately, I didn't buy it. I wasn't somebody that bought it and then just let it sit around. But finally, at some point in time, I expected more of myself. I could see myself making changes. I set a different expectation, a different level of what I was looking for. I didn't need an infomercial body. I just needed a better one than I was physically in at the moment. I didn't need to be ultra crazy, healthy, clean 100% of the time, but I needed to be eating better than I was at the present moment. I believed enough in the product to know, and I believed enough in me to know that if I put my mind to it and I actually followed it, change was going to happen. I didn't know what level of change would happen. When I expected to see change, that's when I became motivated. When I expected the product was actually going to work if I followed it, that's when I really dove in and started giving it the effort that it needed. Now, I ended up having incredible results, but that's not the point of this. The point is, before that motivation fanned and flamed into something that was going to be more, was when I believed in me and expected to have that victory, expected to reach that goal. When you think about athletes that, you hear the term clutch. You think of some of the greats, whatever the sport is that maybe you follow. Those players, they expect that if the ball is in their hand in the final seconds, or if they're up to bat, with 2 strikes and 2 outs, if they've got the puck at the end of the game, they expect that they're going to score, that they're going to hit the home run, or that they're going to make the basket. They expect it, and they believe it with everything they have. Whether they hit the shot, hit the ball, make the goal, that doesn't matter. They believe and expect it to happen every single time. That's why they want the ball. It's what drives them to keep going. When you don't have that belief and you don't have that expectancy, you're not going to keep going. And you're going to find that you're not as successful. So what do you do about it? Whatever that inkling was, whatever that goal, whatever that thought was that you had going into this new year, wherever you were, start visualize yourself actually achieving it. Don't just for me, it wasn't about just picturing what I might look like when I was done, because that was part of it. But picture with all of your senses. Visualize, what are you going to look like? What is it going to feel like? What is it going to sound like? What is it going to taste like? Use all of your senses to start figuring out what that's going to look like, and then expect that you're going to see and feel and taste and touch that one day. However long it may take you. You want to retrain that mind. You want to the more you expect it to happen, the more you start believing it's going to happen. When I was in high school, my basketball team, actually most of my teams, we always fell short in the championships. We would get to the championship and we kept falling short. And finally, my senior year in basketball, we expected it. We expected to win. We expected nothing less than walking off the court with that big gold ball trophy. And when we practiced, every day we practiced with that focus and intentionality that we were not going to end the season without walking off the court with that big gold ball. It was absurd. When we had to run and most people hated it, we loved it because we knew that we were doing it with a purpose because we expected to get the big gold ball. So we were willing to put in the effort. We stayed motivated. Even when we were being punished and had to run, we did the work. We put it in. I pictured every night, holding that big gold ball trophy over my head. I could hear the crowd every night cheering us on as we were winning the big gold ball, right? I could smell the gym. I know as disgusting as that is, but if you're an athlete, you know the smell of the gym or the field or the pool or the ice. You know that smell, and I could picture it. I could feel the hugs, the high fives, all of it. It was so real. And I believed that we could do it. I expected it to happen. And it did. It happened. But if you don't start to visualize, if you don't start to see it, it's really hard to believe sometimes. It's hard to believe when you set a goal that's really far off. So that's kind of my thoughts for you. I know they feel a little bit jumbled. But again, the Motivation Manifesto is a fantastic book. It really gets you thinking. The one quote that I really want to leave you with and I really want you to think about when it comes to motivation, when it comes to setting goals and achieving goals, guys, you need to believe. Because if you don't believe it, it's not likely going to happen, at least if it's a big goal. You might have some success, you might do some good work, but if you've got big goals, you need to change them from hopes into things that you expect. Brandon Bouchard has this great quote. It says, expectancy is the great differentiator between hope and motivation. And that's what I want to leave you with. Again, I'm going to say, expectancy is the great differentiator between mere hope and motivation. I lied. That's not what I'm going to leave you with. The other thing I'm going to leave you with is Michael Jordan, because he's the man. And basketball is one of my sports. But he says, you must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. If you don't expect it, you're not going to be able to do it. So between that and expectancy is the great differentiator between mere hope and motivation. I want you to take those. I want you to think on them tonight. Then I want you to write out, what is your goal? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? And then start believing it's going to happen. Start seeing it happen. Start expecting it to happen. And then go make it happen. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I look forward to coming back at you with some more thoughts from this book and just from life in general. You guys take care.